And to just build on that, then one of the last questions I have is that what advice would you give to other artists? I know we have barely talked about your art, but I know that what you've said today, everything, that you do have perspectives, and I think it's an interesting perspective. So I want to get your advice on what you would give to other young people that are coming to this journey themselves. They're feeling doubts, doubts from their parents, doubts from their friends. They're feeling alone, but they don't know how to just navigate that kind of self doubt. What advice would you give to them on their journey to become artists?
Okay, my 2 cents on that whole thing is basically learn as much as you can about fucking everything that remotely piques your interest. Did I think when I set out to try and plan out my novels, I would be fixating on like learning the fundamental physics behind like volcanoes and whatever the fuck else, like geological formations? No, but it has proven ironically very useful. Same with theoretical physics. If only I'd thought that mattered when I was 15, but it didn't at the time. But now it does, but it only matters for my art. And that's exactly the key thing, is that like once you have that image in your head, if it's clear, if it's vague, but you have an idea of what you want it to be, art-wise, pursue it. Don't let it escape from you, but also especially make sure that it makes fucking sense. Because that was a big struggle for me. It was like I had to very much work almost against myself to try and justify a lot of things. I remember as a kid I was like, I never want to write fantasy, I never want to write science fiction, it's too much work. I'm doing both of those fucking things right now. Like the irony of it all, because it's literally a case of I was almost afraid of the idea that I would have to spend so much time learning that I wouldn't end up writing. And it's completely the reverse. You learn so that you can write, you learn so that you can paint. You need something to feed into your imagination, or otherwise there's going to be no output. Your imagination is a fucking muscle, and you got to use it. And it doesn't matter how, like, whatever ticks that little box in your head of like, shit, I could link this to this. Great. But you never know where those connections will come from. Like, did I think that One Piece, like, I remember when I was younger, I used to shit all over One Piece. All over it, because it was like the thing to do. Bro, that is the best fucking story I've ever read in my life. Like, straight up. And I will die on that hill. Like, he is everything I want to be. And I mean that genuinely. Like, it is everything I wish to achieve. Is exactly what he's done. That motherfucker is free as fuck. And he just talks about the shit that he likes. He talks about the shit that interests him. And it bleeds directly into his work. Because the one thing that I can say for fucking sure about One Piece is that Oda is having the time of his fucking 100%. Life writing at week in, week out. He is just having so much fucking fun. And I love that about it. It's so abundantly obvious that like that passion he feels for his own work, for like everything that goes into it, is so abundantly obvious. And you just need to find these things that ignite that passion within you. And that's what will make you into an artist. I don't know what it means to be an artist. I'm not fucking published. I don't even know if that technically makes me an artist just because I am published or not. Am I an artist because I'm making money, or am I an artist because I say I'm an artist? Yeah. That's its own debate. Yeah. But yeah, just like feed into your own brain. Expand your knowledge and expand your horizons. Because the more you learn, the more doors open.
Absolutely. And I think, especially as an artist, you don't have, even I think, on a broader point, everyone can consider themselves an artist. You just have to be able to give them the leeway and get rid of all the the things that they think people are going to think, and then just express, because I think it is just about expression.
It's really, like that motherfucker in Ratatouille said, anyone can cook.
Anyone can cook. You just got to be you just got to allow yourself to cook. Just allow yourself to cook and allow yourself to express. I think it's so important to find your individual self. As you get older, I think people put things in your way. Work comes in the way, responsibility comes in the way, commitments and stuff like that. So if you have no outlet of who you are, then that child that you were at the beginning gets just drowned out and just becomes irrelevant. And when that happens is when you start really having going to war with yourself. Yeah. And then you meet these people who are bitter because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand their motivations. They don't understand the things that they want.
You become an adult the day that your inner child dies. And that's
100%.
Your imagination muscle atrophy.
100%. And I think if you can find a way to grow as a child into someone who just able to just, make money of the things you do, or just make a living of the things you do. It doesn't have to be great money, then you can keep the inner child. And I think that's the most important thing about success. Everyone has a different, they have different perspective on what success is. I think that's mine, just to be able to remain my inner child, to do the things that I find is fun, all these things, just because what else are you going to spend your time doing?
Yeah.
Something else someone else wants you to do? That makes no sense to me.